The Celtics and Lakers rivalry is back. I'm Jimmy Toscano. This is Noah Dalzell. Live from the TD Garden after the Celtics 111-101 win over the Los Angeles Luka and LeBron Lakers. Noah, we'll get right into it. It was electric in this building to start things off. You could just sense that this was not just any other game. This was a Celtics-Lakers rivalry game. And over the last few years, it's probably taken some time off. I think both teams haven't really been at the points they needed to be in at the same time. But with the Lakers falling into this miracle Luka Doncic trade, they're back to relevancy again. They're playing some of the best basketball they've played in a long, long time. Celtics are doing their thing. Both teams meet tonight. What stood out to you in this one that the Celtics ended up on top of?
Yeah, I think, the buzz in this building reminded me of opening night, and obviously that was a banner raising, but outside of that, these past two seasons that I've covered the team, I don't remember the building being like this during the regular season. This felt like more than just the first round of the playoffs. This felt like maybe some conference finals action, honestly. Like, really just tremendous energy from the fans. You know, Joe Mazzulla said it's 1 of 82 pregame. It was not 1 of 82.
Joe.
Even Jaylen said that's his job to say that, but that's not the case. And I think what you saw tonight is a couple of different things. One, it's Celtics-Lakers, and there's a lot of buzz around the history of the Celtics right now, around this documentary coming out, Celtic City.
Yes.
I think everybody's watching it. A lot of the players, they had a whole premiere of it. And then at the same time, you also have two individual players that have that have rivalries with this team now. LeBron, obviously, his entire career, he's been going up against Boston. So forget the Lakers. Like, LeBron and Boston's always a thing of its own,
Somehow
right?
he's bridged it. Like, it was LeBron and Pierce, and now it's LeBron and Tatum. Like,
it's insane.
LeBron's the constant, right?
Yeah.
But it is wild
still
that it's
playing
still
at
happening.
an incredible level. And then Luka, obviously, he was the Dallas Mavericks last year in the finals, and so far they've played the Mavericks. He wasn't there for both of those games, so this was his return to TD Garden as well. So you had so many different storylines. Obviously, Celtics-Lakers is going to sell for the whole country, but then the fact is, it also was a little bit of a finals rematch between Jaylen Brown and Luka, and that was the most exciting part of the finals. I think
the
for a lot
Luka
of people.
killer.
Yeah,
Jaylen
so.
Brown.
Very compelling game, and I think it lived up to the hype. Obviously, Celtics built a big lead, but Lakers, I never doubted that they were going to be able to kind of make some push, and ultimately, Celtics were able to hold them off. But the rivalry is completely there.
And it feels like at some point, not yet, but the villain torch, is going to be passed from LeBron to Luka. And I feel like he's going to be a great villain in this rivalry, and somebody that's needed in order for it to, hatred fuels rivalries, right? I mean, you need somebody to want to just bash.
Yeah.
And it's Luka. And nothing personal, but you're wearing the purple now. You've got the history. He's got a little bit of history now with the Celtics, going back to the NBA Finals, but also him versus Tatum. Now it's kind of him versus Jaylen because of the matchup, but talking about who is the best, who's the face of the league, who are the best players in the NBA, it's Luka, it's Tatum, it's Giannis, it's Jokic. So you've got that aspect of it too, and then now it just feels like it's gone to that next level. And someday, some year, we don't know when, LeBron will decide to hang it up, and Luka will kind of take that torch and be the guy that you have kind of circled on your calendar that you can't wait to beat.
Yeah, definitely. And everybody knows how the Celtics felt after the 2022 finals. I think they still talk about the Warriors having that extra significance to them. I think Tatum said if they could win the championship anywhere, it would be against Golden State. Luka's going to have that. This was his first finals appearance. He got kind of smoked. Obviously it ultimately led to his trade, a very humiliating public trade. So obviously there were other factors at play, but that was the last playoff run that he was on. So he's always going to have something a little bit.
That absolutely had a huge factor.
Yeah. It's always going to be a little bit personal with Boston. I think it's a lot of respect there, too. I was observing Jaylen, because Jaylen, you can tell when he hates somebody. He doesn't hate Luka. He, really respects Luka. And I think that actually makes him kind of rise to this level that we're seeing him play right now in this game, and then also in the finals, where that competitive spirit is when he's at his best. He's not always 100% locked in defensively. He would admit that, I think. But tonight he was, and it kind of set the tone for the rest of the group.
And you can actually check out Jaylen Brown's press conference on the CLNS YouTube page, where he spent some time commending Luka, said he studies Luka offensively, so obviously that kind of can help him learn how to defend him, but he watches his game because he says he respects it so much, and he considers him, one of the best scorers in the game today, I would imagine in the game previously as well. So what is it about Jaylen Brown that allows him to sort of rise to the occasion in these matchups? I mean, there are games where you kind of say, oh, Jaylen Brown, not really much of an effect tonight, but it feels like the big ones, whether it's in the playoffs or whether it's these big regular season matchups, he shows up.
Yeah, and he's obviously always a great player. He's played at an all-star level even when he wasn't having the best first half of the year. But this is, what he described it today is that he's just in excellent shape, and so he's able to do this thing where he's playing 43 minutes and he's picking up one of the best offensive players in the league, 3/4 court or full court. I asked Drew, I was like, what is that actually like? And Drew said it's not about being in shape. It's like a willpower thing. It's a determination. So I think he has the combination of, like, obviously has a great work ethic and he's in really good shape when he can do that. He can play those minutes. But he has that mental thing too. And I think that mental thing is why every year that he's been in the NBA, he's gotten better. It's why he was able to respond to the worst game of his career versus Miami in Game 7 and then come back and win Finals MVP the next year. Like, not everybody has that, and he does. And I think that's what separated him, even when he hasn't been, the most efficient, or if he's made mistakes, or he's had flaws to his game, whatever else it is. Like, the mental side, I think, has always been strong, and it's part of why we have seen kind of consistent growth from him, and it's a big part of why they won the championship last year.
Are the Lakers for real?
I think so. I mean, I want this matchup so badly in the finals that I feel
we
like
manifest
it's
it. Yes, they are real.
Yeah, it's clouding my judgment a little bit. You have to pick Oklahoma City to come out of the West. I think it's.
Do you?
I mean, I
it's just not the sexy pick, though.
They've been historically.
I want fireworks.
Yeah,
I want Hollywood.
And you're getting Hollywood over this
I'm getting
matchup,
it.
but I think at the same time, like, OKC has been historically dominant this season.
They are.
And SGA has been playing at MVP level. He's not 22, he's 26. Like, he is kind of ready for this moment. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers beat them in a series. I really wouldn't.
You can't rule anything out, right?
No.
Obviously, with LeBron leading the way.
And I also have heard people say, like, how could you pick the Lakers? Like, they are the number 2 seed in the West. So even if you're a little bit skeptical, I think anytime you pick one of the top seeds in the conference to come out of the conference, like, it's not a radical pick. So I could see it happening. They're probably not the most likely to come out of the West, but would not be shocked if this was a finals preview. Like, a lot has to go right. The Cavs also obviously a formidable threat in the East, but it feels like one of the plausible options right now.
Right, and you have to consider the fact that the Lakers are still working some things out. I mean, they're a different team with Luka.
I mean, they had Jared Vanderbilt starting at center today.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And they've got a couple guys coming back. They're still working things out with Luka. Obviously, that's helped them. He looks like a different player defensively, and this Laker team is playing with a little bit more passion, if you will, but not enough to beat the Celtics tonight at the TD Garden as the Celtics come out on top. 10-point win. They had it up over 20 at one point. Slipped. Lakers made it interesting late in the fourth, but the Celtics held on 111-101. That'll do it for us. For Noah Dalzell. I almost had it. Jimmy Toscano. Thanks for watching. Shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Guys, download the app today and use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's the code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.